Serpico is a character that is as underrated as a character can get, and while a lot of people say that he's fallen off, I've observed that in the overall strength of Guts' party, Serpico has been by far one of the most consistent fighters and an essential source of support for Guts throughout his journey. Initially introduced as a comic relief character who was being bullied by Farnese and the Holy Iron Chain Knights in general, a lot of people can get the impression that he doesn't have much going on for him as a character. I thought of this too when I read it the first time. But with the way he was being shown in the manga, I realized early on that this character would play a vital role, especially when you take into consideration his close proximity to Farnese. When the sneaky goat revealed who he was, the surprise was subtle yet effective, quintessentially Serpico. When Farnese lost her handle on reality at the end of the Lost Children arc, Serpico was the one who had dashed to her rescue, a daring run that pitted him against apostles and lost souls. To him it was the first time he was fighting such terrifying monsters, yet he survived the night and during the day saw a beaten down Farnese. An important thing to note here is to see his reaction. Serpico didn't react one bit to seeing Farnese in such a manner, but instead was civil about the whole affair, until he fenced a shot at Guts. To be fair, both knew each other's intentions and were ready for a fight. We now know that Serpico did that as a form of revenge for Farnese, in whatever manner. Their story is one to take into account since both Farnese and Serpico's childhood showed us a glimpse into their relation as siblings. It also showed us why Serpico, from being a timid soul, went and became such an enraged maniac, all in the span of a panel. He lays his life on the line for Farnese on more than one occasion. He'd been doing that since childhood. During the Conviction arc, he readily took on Guts and fought him tooth and nail until Guts surprised him by showcasing his own will to fight. He did that not out of duty but to fight for Farnese. When Farnese joined up with Guts, he threatened Guts not once but twice, but contended because of the effect that Guts was having on Farnese. Throughout the Millennium Falcon arc, he was vital in making sure that Guts' party had another handy fighter in case Guts becomes too busy. We saw this during the battle at Vertanis Harbor and after Klipov, near Flora's mansion. The most important thing he did, in my opinion, was to stop Guts from fighting Zod during the battle at Vertanis. This showcased not only his smarts in dealing with Apostle kind, and him being almost as fearless of the beasts as Guts, but also understanding who Guts was as a person. While I feel that a part of him wanted to stop Guts because of Farnese, I feel that he still had some semblance of concern for Guts in that whole scenario. Now, during the Fantasia arc, his character arc dropped dramatically, but from the Sea God arc, we know that almost every character except Guts, or even Guts since he didn't gain a power-up of any kind, suffered from a decline. The arc had good art, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a good arc overall. After Sea God and Elfhelm, we haven't seen much of Serpico, but because of his close association with Guts, being his second in command, sort of, and Farnese, being her personal bodyguard during her personal journey, I feel that the future is bright for Serpico. While he doesn't have that much of an edge philosophically, the one thing that I can content myself with, as far as he's concerned, is the fact that both him and Farnese know of the Hawk of Darkness and the prophecy of the Hawk. Considering that in Cushion Lands, the series will, in my assumption, take a philosophical route, I feel that these prophecies and Farnese's knowledge of the Holy See religion will prove quite vital in being the vanguard against Griffith. Lastly, we are all expectant of when 376 will come out. Let's just hope it is good. Thanks for watching.